Hello everyone, my name is Ferdinand Turatsinze. I'm a researcher and a program consultant at Daugherty Water for Food Global Institute. Today, we're at the Bleach Career Service to talk about agriculture careers, and I'm here with my colleagues. I will them introduce themselves to tell us who they are and what they do.
Hello, I'm Natacha Akaliza. I'm a program consultant at Daugherty Water for Food here in Rwanda as well.
Yeah, my name is Raissa Urujeni, and I'm a program consultant as well for the Daugherty Water for Food Global Institute, and I work here in Rwanda as well.
I'm currently working with understanding the irrigation ecosystem here in Rwanda. My day-to-day activities involve interviewing different key players in the irrigation ecosystem, and a lot of writing and a lot of desk research.
Thank you, Natasha. We are actually all working on the same project. We are doing the research to understand the irrigation entrepreneurship ecosystem, the operations and the relationships between ag entrepreneurs, their customers and suppliers. And I'm focusing on delivering and producing materials for the customer discovery workshops. Yeah, basically that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, thank you both of you guys. I think maybe I can go a little bit back and introduce like what Water for Food does. So it's a research-based institute, and what we do is we are looking into like business models of irrigation here in Rwanda, and specifically we want to focus on women and youth in agriculture. And with that, we do a lot of like workshops and a lot of like reports and like day-to-day activities that we do. We go in the field and have interviews with young farmers, women farmers, farmers in general, and just understand their pain points and challenges and how we can help be their advocates in like institutes and policy-making institutes. I don't know if you guys want to add something from that.
I guess that's all. Probably the person we use the discovery interview. That's the tool we use. We rapidly assess the irrigation ecosystem in general and trying to understand who's doing what in the agricultural landscape. Okay, yeah, I could say like we work with so many social enterprises, and when you look at today, it's really hard to find the metrics to measure the impact of social enterprise. But personally, I'm interested into youth development. I could see how it's moving forward, and it's so important to see that youth that are not really engaged into agriculture. But I see so many investments that are being done by NGOs, governments, and private institutions to invest in ag and youth and capacity building and financial support. But you can't say that you can measure the impact that it's being done, but like you can see it's going somewhere. And youth, I think they are the key to the food and water security, and seeing them moving forward, it could impact not only them, but also the smallholder farmers and also to the last customer.
When you mention impact, I'm trying to think that like it's maybe this person was poor and then now this person is rich. Maybe that is how you measure it. But they mentioned that we do workshops. So if like you're giving someone knowledge about something, there is a level that you're moving them from to another, and that is hard. Like I think in my mind it's hard like to measure whether like that was like impactful. But I believe that is impactful.
Yeah, I think Ferdinand just mentioned like a good point on how like we don't see a lot of like youth getting involved in agriculture, because I think like the mindset like from before is that agriculture is more like something old school, like grandpas or like somebody from like rural areas are the one doing that. But there's a lot of like innovations that people are doing. I see a lot of like people bringing up like machines and like this cool like pumpkin biscuits or like these innovative solutions that they can see. So I think for me, like, and something impactful, like me feeling like I did something impactful to the ag sector is like being advocate for those like new innovations that are bringing up, and like seeing more like youth getting involved, and especially like me and Natasha working on this cool project about like women in ag sector. So like also having like a lot of like involvement in of women in the ag sector. So yeah.
Sure.
Something else that I would add on is like we are research based. So when we publish what we've found, like when we portray the gaps that are existing in the ecosystem, that provides room for like someone who has interest in a specific gap. Like if we portray that women lack finance, for example, then this person who is an investor, they know where like to invest their money. So that is also like I think an impact that we're making by highlighting those gaps and challenges that exist in the ecosystem.
That's good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like when I went to college, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do right after graduation, but I knew that I want to go for graduate school. And then when I get into my senior year, that's when I realized to get into the program that I want, I will need 2 to 3 years of experience. So that's where I decided, okay, I will need to go out there, work, and work in the area where I feel, okay, this is going to make me go to the graduate school that I want to go to. This is going to make an impact to the community that I'm serving. And I would say I was lucky to get a job that matched exactly what I was looking for. And after now that I'm here, I wouldn't say it's really hard to identify what exactly you want to do, because you could say like the thing that I did was to go out there and talking to people who are doing the same thing that I was doing. I also look for the mentor, look for someone who's doing the same thing that I want to do in the next 2 to 3 years, and know exactly what the challenges they face, what the opportunities they face, and what experience and skills it takes to be there. Yeah, that's what I did.
For me, before I graduated, I was studying food, energy, and water in society. So that also like had a guidance on what I would be like on my career, and what I wanted to do was sustainable development, anything within that area. And my current like boss for a year, yeah, my current boss was my mentor when I was studying. So that also like guided me getting like into the career that I'm in right now.
I love that we all have different experiences. So I think for me, I was doing mechanized system in management in my undergrad, and I think for me, I realized what I wanted to do when I got for my internship back home in 2019. So like I loved what we were doing. So I was interning for the company I work for now, the Water for Food, and I loved the work that they were doing. And like when I got into it, I knew that this is what I wanted to do after graduation. So I feel like that was like a smooth transition. And when I applied for the job, like I think he had worked with me before, so that was like an easy way to also like get in the career that I am in right now.
I would say they have to talk to like people. They have to start identify before they transition. Like while they're still studying, they have to start talking to people who are in the careers they want to pursue. So also it's like part of the research. It's part of researching whether you want to go for that career or not. So they should start like calling, having those connections, talking to them how it is like to work in the space they're in, whether they should be like pursuing those careers in the first place, and have them mentor them. If they like what they're hearing, have those people mentor them.
Yes, talking to people, that's a great one. And I would say we have been doing interviews for a while, so we could say there are so many gaps where people could work in this sector. There are so many opportunities. You could start a business, you could work in a bank, you could work in policies, everything. Like there's so many opportunities out here, and come to Rwanda, you're going to love it. And I would say, first of all, before you even go for it, define what you want to do in the next 5 years and talk to people who are doing the same thing, who are in the position you want to be in, so you could understand well what you need and the sacrifice needs to be made. So I would say you're welcome to Rwanda. We're going to make sure that you adjust on the system.
Something else that I would add on is like agriculture is broad. Agriculture doesn't mean like you are in agronomy. Agriculture doesn't mean like that you are just like irrigating. It doesn't, like it is in all, like it is broad. It is broad. Some, as Ferdinand mentioned, some people are in like in banks and helping people like I guess get loans, in like farmers get loans or get proper means of finances. Also, there are agro processors. Like from the interviews that we've been doing, we have identified a lot of like entrepreneurs in the agriculture sector. So identifying different gaps that exist, and then wing it. Like you will be amazed at how like what you can do in the agriculture sector.
Yeah, I think Natasha just touched on a good part about like the entrepreneurs that we have been talking to. I think that before I came back to Rwanda, I didn't know exactly like what kind of opportunities were there. Yeah. But like now that I'm here, now that I see like on the ground like people like having different like businesses, and there's a lot of like incubator programs that facilitates and are trying to sponsor and just like provide grants for young entrepreneurs, and especially like in agriculture. So I think there's a lot of opportunities that we don't get to tap on with. And also like maybe there's also like the Bridge to Rwanda career. You can just like also like approach them and help, like they help with like the transition from undergrad to like the job market. So yeah, that's also one of the resources that you can use.
That's true, yes. All right, thank you guys. Thank you, Raissa. Thank you, Natasha. And thank you all. I hope that was insightful and you have learned something. And if you have further questions, please reach out to career@bridgerwanda.org. And thank you so much.